About 100 days ago, I quit my cozy software development job to take a shot in the dark at being a full-time rapper. And now, about 100 days in, I want to answer the question, do I regret it? Welcome back to Road to J. Cole Feature, the series that's all about the journey. I'm DG the Artist, and since last week's episode did so well, thank you for that by the way, I want to do this one in a similar style where I basically go through every day of the past week and tell you what I did, but this time I want to do it from the perspective of, do I regret it? So I'm basically going to be sharing like, okay, do I think this is a pro or a con of being a full-time rapper? Make sure you stick around to the end because I'll also be answering the question of whether I think everybody should do what I'm doing. The answer is no, but there's a lot of caveats to that I definitely want to get into. All right, so once again, I'm recording this on a Friday, so I'm going to start with last Friday, May 8th. And on last Friday, May 8th, I recorded and edited the last episode of Road to J. Cole Feature that you've probably seen by now. And then later in the day, I went over to a friend's house to collaborate on some music. We basically made like 1.5 songs from scratch, which was really fun. He's a super talented artist and it was my first time working with him on music, so it was great. That's definitely a pro of doing this full time. You know, previously on a Friday at 3 p.m., I wouldn't have been comfortable enough to like leave the house during the workday and go record music with a friend. But now I can do that. Moving on, Saturday, May 9th was my birthday and the 1-year anniversary of my proudest work so far, my album, You Deserve the World, that I dropped last year. It was my birthday. I didn't do much for my rap career on Saturday. I also don't like to do too much on weekends, like I mentioned in the last video. But I did make a YouTube community post and an Instagram post about the album to like remind people that it exists and it's the anniversary, so they should go listen to it. This was both a pro and a con. Like, it's really nice to celebrate something you've made with people who also appreciate it. I love that. The con is that, you know, on the weekends, I'm still like worried about my online social media presence. Next up, Sunday was a really fun day. I went up to New York City and met up with some friends. First, I met up with Carrie KH, who was in town for the Webby Awards, and I also like low-key snuck into like this creators event at the Webbies that like I didn't have a pass to get into, but nobody asked me, so I just got up there and got to meet some YouTubers. Shout out Anthpo. I met him and he follows me on Instagram now, which was like so cool. I've been watching him forever. And then after that, I met up with my homie Jay Paris in New York to record some music with him. I mentioned him in the last video because I wrote and recorded like a demo of a 24-bar feature for one of his songs. And basically what we did when we hung out was we cut it down to like the best 16 bars of the feature and got like 20 takes of it on his really good mic, and it was sounding really good by the time I left. It was awesome. This is definitely a pro because nowadays hanging out with friends and recording music is literally my job. Like, that used to be something I would do when I had some time off. You know, I had the time and space to do that. But now I can do that whenever I want, and it's literally like the thing I'm supposed to be doing. So I love that. Moving on to Monday, we're about to hit another con of being a full-time rapper, which is venue outreach. Honestly, this is like one of the worst parts of being an artist. If you can have someone handle all your booking for you, maybe you should. I don't know. I like to do it myself because I feel like I can like represent myself the best, but it might be time for me to get like a booking agent or something. I reached out for the 3rd time to a venue that I'm really trying to book for my EP release party on June 28th, and they still haven't gotten back to me. It's like sometimes I feel like sending emails just feels like such a dead end. Even like, you know, I've been to the venue and they said, yeah, just email us or DM us on Instagram. I've done both of those, still haven't heard back. So it's just like a very frustrating process. But like, I really feel like there's no reason they should say no. Like, it's a pretty small venue. I've booked bigger venues before and like I have proof that I'll get people to show up. I think maybe they're just busy and not checking their email often. So I will bother them again later today. And hopefully by the next episode, I have a good update for you that like the show is booked. And if not, I guess I'll have to find another place to do it. But yeah, booking venues sucks. I actually got a DM on Instagram recently from somebody who saw, I guess like the last video and was asking about how I go about booking shows and if I had any tips. I haven't responded to that DM yet because I was thinking I might just make a whole video on how I book shows, like, you know, all the things I've learned, like what works and what doesn't. So let me know if that's something that interests you if you're also a musician and you have no idea how to do it. Honestly, I think a video like that would really help me right about now. So I'm probably going to make that video because whatever knowledge I have about this, I definitely want to share with everybody else out there so you're not as stressed out about booking venues. Even though I do not have all the answers, I still can't book this goddamn venue, but it's coming. It's coming. On Monday, I was also doing some work for my Raleigh show. I worked on the set list and I was doing some promo for it, so that was cool. And then moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday is pros all around. First, I had my friends Risk and The Vibe come over and we worked really hard on our song On the Internet that's not out yet, but it's like our first song as a trio. The song's pretty much done now, and it's sounding really good, so we'll put it out soon. I'm just really excited about that, and it's just always so much fun to hang out with them for hours in the middle of what would have been a work day. During that session, we also spent a long time debating what our group name should be. And we have no fucking idea. We kept coming up with names and like none of them work. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for what me, Risk, and the Vibe should be called when we're making music together. Like, let me know. And if we choose the name that you suggest, maybe we'll like, I don't know, shout you out in all of our songs or something. Who knows? And Tuesday night, I went back to my absolute favorite open mic night. And this is another pro of doing music full time. I mean, to be fair, I was going to this open mic night every week, even when I wasn't full time because, you know, it's after work hours. But having the energy to go to the open mic night and enjoy it to the fullest extent is really special. I did 2 unreleased songs this week. I did Make It Make Sense with the Vibe and On the Internet with Risk and the Vibe, which we had just finished earlier that day. And it was so much fun. Like, the crowd response was incredible. People really love Make It Make Sense. I think it might be my best song so far, and I'm really excited to share it with y'all on the EP, so stay tuned. And I forgot to mention this, but also earlier in the day on Tuesday, I also pretty much finished editing the last episode of the podcast with Risk and the Vibe, so, you know, that was some good productivity. Moving on to Wednesday, and I'm not gonna lie, Wednesday was kind of a con day. I uploaded the latest episode of the podcast that I was already pretty much done editing, so I uploaded that in the morning. And that was about all I did that day. I had a lot of chores around the house to catch up on, and I was also just tired because Tuesday was such a busy day. And so hour after hour, I just couldn't really bring myself to like do more productive stuff for my rap career. And I planned to say that this was a con, but honestly, the more I'm talking about it, this is kind of a pro. You know, like I can waste away in my chair and solve Rubik's Cubes. And that's okay. Nobody's gonna yell at me for that. I think the con here is that I'm my own boss now, so if I'm being lazy, I like need to discipline myself for that, and I need to like feel the weight of those decisions. But like honestly, I was just tired and I needed to rest that day, and like any good boss should, I gave myself grace for that. So yeah, Wednesday I was not a great rapper, but I needed that day to reset, and that's okay. Finally, yesterday, Thursday, was a great day all around. In the morning, I posted a reel from the podcast, and I want to just take a second and talk about how great this is. Because what happened was Thursday morning, I was starting my work for the day, and I realized like, oh, yesterday I posted a podcast, and I haven't really like advertised the fact that I posted it that much. So if you ignored it in your subscriptions feed, you're not going to see it. I should like post about it somewhere. And I got the idea, like, let me make some short form content, like some fun clip from the podcast, and just post that on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and you know, let that be out there. And when I make short form content, I'm usually not planning it way in advance. It's usually like a burst of energy that I get that finally allows me to like sit down and make that video and then just put it up right away. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And the fact that I'm not working a full-time job gave me the freedom to actually sit down when I had the energy and make that video, and it was a banger. It was a dope edit. I'm really proud of that video. Go check it out, link in the description. Honestly, just check out the podcast because that's more fun, but if you want to see the edits I'm talking about, you can check out the short too. After that, later in the day, I got another burst of energy to record the next episode in my Reading My Work Thoughts journal series. I just really felt like sitting down and recording that, so I did that, and it went great. And that's something that I wouldn't have been able to do at 3 p.m. on a Thursday in the past, so it was awesome. And then finally, in the evening, I drove out to Maryland to support my homie Risk, because she had a show out there, and it was really great seeing her perform. It was a good time. That's my week. So to answer the question in the title of this video, do I regret quitting my software development job to be a full-time rapper? Hell no. Absolutely no regrets. This is the best life I've ever lived. It's fucking incredible waking up every day being able to do what I love. That said, I don't recommend everyone does exactly what I'm doing. There are caveats to this. I worked a job I didn't like for a long time in order to save up money to do this. So right now, as a full-time rapper, I'm not stressed about money. I need money at some point, but like right now, I can devote some years to this and not need to be turning any insane profits to still like live and support me and my wife. Also, my wife is working full time, so absolute worst case, like she's bringing in money, but I'm not a freeloader. I am still like contributing to the family's finances. Right now, I have the absolute privilege of being comfortable in the growth phase. Like music is not bringing in a shit ton of money right now. But I'm okay, and I can try a lot of things and not be nervous about, am I going to be able to pay rent next month? So to you out there, if you hate your job and you have some savings and you're thinking of betting on yourself and giving yourself a shot in this crazy world of being a creative person. And you have a plan B if it doesn't work out. Like, you have some point where you're like, okay, if it's not working by this date, or, when I've blown through this amount of money, I'll find another job, something like that. If all those things are true for you, I strongly recommend giving yourself a shot. It's just fun. Like, having the privilege of being able to wake up every day and do what I love is the absolute best thing I've ever experienced, and I feel like it's what I've been working for my whole life. Now, that said, if you're out there and you're barely making ends meet, or you don't have that much in savings, it's probably not that smart to quit whatever you do have to pursue your dream full time. But that's why I'm here. The whole point of making this Road to J. Cole feature series is not to just show you how fun my life is or whatever. It's to give you a real look into what works and what doesn't in the music world, and hopefully help you do this in a more efficient way so you don't even need to quit your job, and you can build something up while you're still working a full-time job and then quit once it's actually making you enough money. Or screw it, if you're just a hobbyist and you don't even want to be doing music full-time but you still want to have some more success with it, I want this series to be able to help you with that too. I seriously recognize my privilege in being able to do this full-time, and I want other people to be able to take something away from this experience that I'm having too, because otherwise, what's the point? So please, in the comments, let me know what would be helpful for you. What do you want more details on? What do you want less details on? Please just let me know all of that, because I want to make this series as helpful as possible for you guys. Now, all that said, let's quickly move on to the stats. YouTube has been doing great. Like I said, my last Road to J. Cole feature video has popped off, so thank you everybody for tuning into that. That's really cool. Subscribers have gone up and watch time has gone up, which is great. And similar to last week, Instagram followers have gone up and Spotify listeners have remained mostly stagnant. I think they went up a little bit. So yeah, if you want to see these numbers go up next week, keep watching the videos, follow me on Instagram, and stream my music on Spotify. Thank you. And finally, let's move on to this week's shoutout. This week's shoutout goes out to Cam Strife, who's a DMV rapper who's just so talented with his pen game. His punchlines, his wordplay, his flows, his rhyme schemes are all so incredible, and it's something that I feel like I can learn a lot from every time I listen to him. I'm just how do you do that? It's so good. And not only that, but he's a great performer, and he's got a show coming up on May 22nd in Washington, D.C. that I will be at. So if you want to hang out with me and listen to some dope music from an incredible performer, I'll probably be in the front row. Pull up to the Cam Strife show later this month. If you want to be considered for next week's shoutout, let me know in the comments. And that's about it for this episode of Road to J. Cole feature. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.